Acts 12:12 through 17. When this had dawned on him, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, also called Mark, where many people had gathered and were praying. Peter knocked at the outer entrance, and a servant named Rhoda came to answer the door. When she recognized Peter's voice, she was so overjoyed that she ran back without opening it and exclaimed, "Peter is at the door." "You're out of your mind," they told her. When she kept insisting that it was so, they said it must be his angel. But Peter kept on knocking, and when they opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. Peter motioned with his hand for them to be quiet and described how the Lord had brought him out of prison. "Tell James and the other brothers and sisters about this," he said, and then he left for another place. This pericope, or story of Scripture, is comedy in many ways. I want to focus on one thing in particular here. Peter's got history with servant girls. If you remember back to Matthew 26, Peter was recognized as one of Jesus' followers by a servant girl, and actually 3 times he was accused of being with Jesus, and he denied it, just like was predicted. And it actually almost killed Peter with guilt and regret. But he heroically gathers all the humility he can muster and makes one of the greatest spiritual comebacks in history. But this time he's in a different head and heart space. This time he wants Rhoda, the servant girl, to recognize him as being with Jesus. And it's a funny scene where she does ID him correctly, but then gets so excited she doesn't let him in at first. Recognition is a universal and timeless concept that we can wrestle with. And maybe like Peter, there are times you want to be recognized as a Christian, and other times you don't. It happens, let's be honest. When you're in sin, you're not trying to be a hypocrite and claim how faithful you are. And if Peter's life is any lesson to us, when we don't want to be recognized with Christ, that's a very accurate litmus test on our spirituality at the time. And we're likely not doing well with the Lord if we don't want to be associated with Him. Let's use this as a learning and growth opportunity. The first word in the dictionary to describe recognition is identification. May we all be gladly identified for our walks with Jesus.